Hello YouTube, this is the one and only Benjo I. And what I have for you guys today is the second episode in Not So Popular. And the gun for today is the M60, which is a light machine gun, but I'll get into the stats and everything here in a little bit. Right now I'm just going to cover my custom class. So I'm using the M60 with a reflex sight. I'm using Ghost, Sleight of Hand, and Ninja. That's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about for this, but let's get right into the game. So the game we are playing today is a little TDM on jungle. Now to be perfectly honest, I did not think I was going to be using this for a commentary game, so my kill streak setup is the Blackbird, the Chopper Gunner, and the dogs. Now I do get my kill streaks, but I do believe that this is a good display of how to use this weapon, and I thought the gameplay was pretty exciting. There's a point where I outrun dogs and a Chopper Gunner to get to my next kill streak, so I thought it was pretty cool. But as you can see right here, I am running with my pistol. Now, with the light machine guns, you run at 87.5% speed, if you guys did not know that. And what is popping up on the screen right now is all the gun stats for the M60. If you guys want to find these images where you can find out all the gun stats, just type into Google Black Ops gun stats and you will find this image. But back to the speed you run with your guns, so the light machine guns you run 87.5. Now with the assault rifles, the sniper rifles, you run 95%, and with the SMGs and the shotguns and the pistols, you run at 100%. So that's why it seems like when you're running around with the pistol or SMG, you're running a little bit quicker, and that's because you actually are. But for now, I want to get into the rest of the gun stats, and the gun I will be comparing it to is another LMG, the Stoner 63, which is my personal favorite in the LMG class. The Stoner 63 shoots at a fire rate of 937.5 rounds per minute, and the M60 only shoots at 535. Now, if you have used both these guns, you can definitely tell how much slower the M60 shoots, but where the M60 lacks in fire rate, it makes up for damage. It does a damage of 50 all the way up until about 35 to 40 meters, and then after that it drops down to 40, whereas all the other LMGs just stay at 40. They're a constant 40 all the way across the board. So what that means for the M60 is that it's a two-shot kill within that distance, which is pretty awesome. And the next thing I wanted to get into is the recoil, and there is a lot of it. If you guys have used any of the LMG classes, you know that there's a lot of recoil, and the thing to deal with that is just the burst fire of the LMGs. As you can see, the last two guys I killed, I burst fired, and then a guy snuck up on me, and I just went fully auto on him. So now I've given you guys some of the basic gun stats. I kind of want to get into my own personal feelings and whether I would recommend it to you guys or not. And to be perfectly honest, I think this was a hidden gem. I never really saw any gameplay from this, I didn't hear anything about it, and I personally love this gun. Now I know it doesn't shoot very fast and stuff like that, but if you are on target and you put, like I said before, if you're close and you put 2 bullets into them, they drop. Now I wouldn't recommend this gun for every single game type and every single map just because it is so heavy and you move around very slow. But if you're playing like TDM on jungle is a perfect map for it because there's a lot of long distance battles and you really don't have to run around too much. And right here is that point of the game I was talking about where it gets a little hairy. They have a chopper gunner up in the air and I escaped it just a second ago if you saw that. And they also just called in their dog. So what I have to do here is, we just shot down the chopper gunner, he's out of his chopper gunner. Now I have to watch out for the dogs, which if you guys haven't gone up against dogs or you have gone up against dogs, you know how mean they are. This is actually pretty cool. I hear these dogs behind me and I turn on them and get a double kill. Too bad it doesn't show double kill. But this part of the game is a little bit boring because I'm just sitting back here waiting for all the dogs to leave. So I'm going to talk about the different attachments that come with the M60. So what is popping up on your screen right now is a list of the attachments that come with it. I'll just run through them real quick. You have extended mag, ACOG sight, red dot, reflex, grip, and infrared. Now, I'll give you my personal recommendations. Personally, I don't think you need extended mags because there's already 100 bullets in your clip, and if you actually need more, I have no idea what you're doing. The ACOG sight and the red dot sight and the reflex sight I think is all personal preference. The ACOG scope obviously zooms in a little bit more, and I personally like the reflex sight over the red dot sight, but once again that's all personal preference. Now the grip is actually really good with this, but I personally did not have very much luck with just the iron sight, so what I ended up having to do is either use Warlord and attach the reflex sight and the grip, or I just ran the reflex sight. And as I talked with before, as long as you guys burst fire the M60, I don't think you guys will have a problem. It just has a lot of kick when you just hold down on the trigger, which you'll see at the very end of the video. I just lay down on the trigger and there's all kinds of recoil. But if you burst fire it, you won't run into any problems whatsoever. And thanks to the advances in sound horn, I was able to pick that guy up. But right here, I kind of wanted to get into my overall feelings on the gun. I know I said before that I think it's a hidden gem, and I am holding true to that. If you guys have not used this weapon before, I would highly suggest using it. Now, I wanted to get into kind of the perks I would suggest for this, and the big one would be sleight of hand. Now, you may be wondering, Ben, why is that so important? There's so many rounds in the clip, and I'm not talking about just regular sleight of hand, I'm talking about sleight of hand pro. Because if you do not have Sleight of Hand Pro, the sight comes up so slow, it takes forever, and it seems like by the time I got the sight up, I was dead. And it happened a couple times at the beginning of the game. I got my sight up at the wrong time or a little bit too slow. I ended up paying for it. But another good perk to use in the first perk slot would maybe be lightweight, because you would move a little bit faster. I personally on this class was using Ghost just because since you do move so slow, and let's say if they had a UAV or a Blackbird up in the air, it'd be really hard for me to kind of escape the enemy if they knew where I was. So I thought I would use Ghost and stay off the radar, and I know it doesn't help with Blackbird, but at least with the UAVs it would help. And as you can see, I'm not fast forwarding the chopper gunner because I only think I get 4 or 5 kills, so I just thought I'd let it play through. But I did take your guys' suggestions, and I actually used the gun with all the attachments before I actually did this video, unlike my last one where I just used the silencer. And I actually went back and used the mini Uzi with some other attachments, and I still really don't care for it. But another suggestion that was given to me is maybe I should just have the best moments and maybe mix together some different attachments and stuff like that. And I know it might seem like a good idea, but the whole idea behind this is just kind of see it in action and see what the gun does throughout a full game. If there's different attachments you guys want me to use for a certain gun, let me know and I can do that. Just a heads up, I probably will never ever use the infrared scope, so if you guys want to see that, I'm sorry. Maybe in the future I'll do something like that, but it's just so impractical, I just don't really see any use for it. But if you guys think that there's anything else I could add to the series to make it a little bit better, don't forget to let me know. I do read all the comments, so if there's something that I like that I think will make the series better, I will try and do my best to add it. But that is the end of the game. The final score was 34-4 with the M60, and the M60 gets 2 thumbs up for me. I wouldn't recommend it on every single map and every game type like I said before, but it definitely has its uses, and if you guys haven't used it before, I definitely suggest trying it. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.